Hi, everybody. Listen, we had a great reading and discussion last night in our evening prayer group that I thought I would open up to everybody. Began with an adaptation of Colossians chapter 3, verses 12 through 15, which I'll read to you, and then I have a couple questions for you. It tells us in Scripture that, and here's the Colossians reading, as God's chosen loved ones, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bear with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against another, forgive each other. Just as God has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. Above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in the one body, and be thankful. First question for you to think about is, can you think of a time in your life when you were your best self in the way that is described in Colossians? I'm going to read it again. Think about a time when you were your best self. As God's chosen loved ones, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bear with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against another, forgive each other, just as God has forgiven you. So you also must forgive. Above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony, and let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in the one body, and be thankful. Can you think of a time when you were your best self, when you did some of those things? Maybe it was a time of compassion. Maybe it was a time when you were just content to peacefully be present with someone. It was really interesting with the group last night. I think people find it hard to think of themselves as doing something well when it comes to this. We hold out this image of Jesus, this example that he set, always constantly trying to attain that level of goodness and understanding, personification of this reading. And so it's easy for us to find fault with ourselves. So I can think of all the times when I didn't do that well. Can you think of a time when you were your best self? Because, my friends, that's how Jesus looks at us. He always is looking for our best self in any given moment. And that may vary from moment to moment. But God will be able to find the best in us. So I think we need to find that in ourselves. Not be afraid to claim that. The second question to go along with this is that, assuming there are times when we don't clothe ourselves in love, I will admit there are times when, I just don't feel very loving. I don't clothe myself in love. Assuming those times, do we not do that because of fear, anger, forgetfulness, or something else altogether? What is it that keeps us from clothing ourselves in love in those moments when we don't? Again, a lot of interesting discussions last night, talking about ego and our need to be right, and our unwillingness to listen and be open to others. What is it for you? When you don't clothe yourself in love, why don't you? What gets in the way? Those are the thoughts I want to leave you with today. First off, what have been the times when you have been your best self? And when you're not your best self, what is it that gets in the way? Thanks for joining me for this prayerful pause with the pastor. I'm Pastor Deb Swift of South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York. I look forward to seeing you next time, and until then, God bless, take care, and bye for now.